Hi, I'm Vivian the Knitter.
And I'm Alyson the Crocheter.
And I'm Emily.
And you're listening / watching to Keep Calm and Carry Yarn.
Hi
everyone. We're together. So we're in Florida at the moment.
Mm-hmm. It's very hot.
It's very warm. It is not sweater weather here.
No, it's not. In fact, my glasses are steaming a little bit right now.
Right now. But yeah, so I think the last time we recorded, were you here?
Yes, I was here.
So,
and you were home.
I have now joined
the baby party.
The baby brigade. Oh.
And there it goes. Go get him. Okay.
Crafty content? Jump right in?
Sure.
Will we just work the way we worked before?
Okay.
Whips.
Or should we go that way because in case she has to?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The guest can start off our whips. I think this green one.
Yes, which I haven't touched in
since
before the baby was born, so I don't even know what it looks like. It's a 14 karat poncho shawl type thing by Michelle Hunter.
Done in like a hunter green as well.
And yes, it's hunter foresty green.
And she actually did. You looked in your.
Oh yeah, I'm actually looking at my notes this time. I'm becoming more prepared than the last time, the 2 times that I've been on the podcast.
So it's a poncho shawl, is it?
Yeah, so it's just it's constructed just like a shawl. It's just a big old rectangle, and then you're supposed to sew the 2 ends together. But I was thinking I would do buttonholes instead.
Oh,
so that I can
options.
Yeah, and then the one day a year that it goes below 50 degrees in Florida, I can wear it as a scarf. But yeah, it's got little eyelets all over it, and then diamond lace around the edges.
I didn't even remember that you were doing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's haiku kobasi yarn, cotton bamboo silk. It's also got quite a bit of nylon in it. It's really soft. Actually, really like it. It's really nice drape.
Fun.
I got this from Sheep Thrills here in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was on a trip by myself, not with you.
Yeah, no, it already has
very
nice
drapey.
drape.
Yes. I think it could also work as a nursing cover.
Possibly. Oh yeah, that would be good. In the wintertime.
Well, it's not hot, It's
indoors.
bamboo.
Indoors,
Yeah.
it's not hot.
Sure.
Because there were days where I had to wear long sleeves and long pants.
Inside, yeah. Because it's Florida, we always have the AC blasting. Then I have this tuck-in blouse, which is a vintage pattern from Paton and Baldwins. It's got lace and baubles up on the sides, and then it's buttoned down with a collar at the top. But the construction is interesting because it's done in pieces, but then the front, it doesn't actually unbutton all the way to the bottom, so the hem goes all the way. The ribbing at the bottom goes all the way across.
So this is
both
one
sides.
You're starting on
so
one
I have
half.
the right side.
So you'd be wearing it like that. It'd be the
And then the other side.
So these
overlap.
buttonholes here.
So it does unbutton all the way down until the ribbing, and then the ribbing is just it's one piece. So
that's what gets stuck in.
Yeah, so it's tuck and blouse, so it doesn't need to unbutton all the way.
What year is that from?
1952.
Oh, nice.
And this feels like a.
It's cotton linen,
and
I think it's got some rayon in it.
From
it's like Juniper Moon Farms.
A little bit tweedy, sort of. It's like
it's a warm, sort of a nude color, with little flecks of
a neutral, natural kind of color.
With flecks of a darker gray and a lighter.
Yeah, like a orangey type of color. It's like a little tiny bit speckled, but it's very minimal, so you can only really tell close up. It's like what?
Swime powder. That's one for the Chinese folks, I guess.
We're not going to try to explain it.
It depends on that color is swime.
Yeah, the color is kind of like it.
Swime is a dried plum.
Yeah.
What is that?
Sweet, dry.
Covered in a
preserved.
Is it covered in a powder? Yeah, it's covered.
It does have powder. No, but you can buy swime powder.
Ah.
And you put it on it. We've had put it on our margaritas.
My mouths are starting to. It's like very
To water.
tart and sour.
Yeah.
My mouth is starting to water thinking about it.
Yeah, that's my first attempt at a vintage pattern, which I really wanted to do. And it's interesting, the instructions, reading them, I was saying it's like a riddle, the way some of the instructions are written out. It's just, I mean, I think I've managed to figure it out so far.
Well,
So.
I mean, I think they assume that you have at least like.
Well, you were saying that like you were expecting
Yeah.
an element of it being quite basic on the instructions, but actually there was like this whole paragraph of text you read out to me of like
Right.
saying, was it
Like explaining everything. There's a whole paragraph for just doing the gauge swatch, like of how to make the gauge swatch.
Oh, really? Okay.
So there is
Interesting.
like some things seem like you just would have to know. Like it'll say to decrease on a row, but like it doesn't say like how to decrease.
Oh yeah. Was it in a magazine or was it by like a
Pamphlet.
standalone? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
So-
you were saying as well there was like the buttonholes are every 13th.
Oh yeah, the buttonholes are every 13th row, so like sometimes it's on a wrong side, sometimes it's on a right side. And then the pattern repeat is 10 rows. And then it was like, and then I had to increase every 7th row, I think. So it's a lot to juggle. Definitely
that's
not
the
for a
riddle.
beginner. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not for a beginner.
Yeah.
What about you, baby?
So my whips. So I thought this was an FO until I went to block it. Literally, I weaved in the ends, put it on the blocking board, looked at it, and I was like, "That's not symmetrical." So this was my my Sage Shrug by Rosina Northcott. So it's not quite my. It's basically my arm span. But I was working on it, so I was vending at a show last weekend, which I'll talk about later. But so I was working at it while I was just like stood in front of the stand, just like stood up and crocheting, and I had it in the yarn in one of your project bags around my wrist, and like the end of the thing tucked into my pocket, and there were some knitters especially impressed that I could do that and like walk around. But I was just counting because it's got the sort of the eyelets, yeah, and then solid stitch and then eyelets. And I had thought I had done increasing amount of space between the eyelets, so like 4 rows and then 5 rows and then 7 rows and then 11 rows. So I was just counting that. I'm like, okay, this next one I should do 4 rows, eyelets. Okay, that's the end. Finish it off, do the rib. But turns out I had done 2 lots of 4 stitches between eyelets, so like the same amount, and I just didn't realize that when I was just like on the go counting.
So you're gonna have to rip out the.
So I ripped. So on this end, I'm back to the rib now, so it is almost done. And you can definitely tell. So this was the Modim Rosa Pomar yarn, and I didn't strike or anything, but you can. I think there's like bits where you can see the changeover. Yeah.
Oh,
one is darker.
Yeah, this one has more pink over here in the middle.
And the black is darker.
Yeah, have more.
Yeah, so it's almost symmetrical though because of that. Like obviously the ball I used in the middle was darker.
Yeah.
But I don't really mind. Like I feel like this was just sort of.
But when you're all wrapped up in it, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, so this is the one that's getting I don't have the buttons yet. I don't have buttons because that's.
Oh, okay.
So it's like.
So she could wear it as a shawl or a shrug.
Yeah. So my idea was to have it as for my work at home thing, so I can just throw it over whatever I'm wearing, and then you just do the buttons.
Okay.
Because I do sometimes put like a blanket over me, but it's always like falling all over the place.
That's a good
So
idea.
the buttons will keep it on. My other whip, I don't really have anything to say about this. I brought it so I could finish it, hopefully. Although knowing me, I probably won't finish it.
You're on
while
the
I'm here.
ribbing.
I'm still on the button band.
Oh, the button band.
I think last time I was on the button band as well, but I finished.
Yeah, and you were trying to describe it, and I was not getting what you were talking about, but yeah, I see it now. It's doubled.
Double. Would you call that double knit or double? What is it?
Tubular.
Tubular. Oh, tubular. Yeah, that's what it was. So I finished all the buttonholes. That's the last buttonhole. So I just need to do it all the way around. So I've got a lot more to do, and it's quite tedious.
Yeah.
It looks great though.
Yeah.
And you were saying you were quite intimidated by the the button band, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I was telling somebody about doing this and how this was like basically my first big crochet project, because the last thing knitted. The last thing I knitted was the pussy hat, which was just a rectangle. So I was like, yeah, next up, cardigan. But
it's not like
you've done garment construction, so
right. That's what
it's not like you're completely a
yeah,
novice.
yeah. But I mean, certainly wasn't the most basic of garments I could have picked to knit.
Yeah.
The one thing it's missing is because it had originally the pockets at the bottom, but because I made it shorter, the pockets would have been like right under my boob, and I thought that would look weird. But I did start one of the pockets as if I was going to do it, so I learned something new, even though I didn't do it in the end.
That looks great.
Yeah, those are my whips.
Well, I have 2 whips. I have my
Only 2?
yeah. I'm
Only
down to
2 with her.
2 whips. Yeah. What was this one called again? The Velvety Air Wrap by Sweater Freak.
Velvet Air.
I don't.
Ooh, you can see all the colors.
Yeah. So I'm on the 4th color.
This lavender.
Yeah.
Lilac.
So there's like this. Is this lavender or lilac, and that's lavender? I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's a dark. I didn't even see that.
There's a darker purple.
Yeah, lighter purple, darker purple.
So the lighter purple, when I was working on it, it looked like it was gray next to green. I'm like, oh no, are you gonna be able to see that it's purple? But yeah, you can see that now that it's purple. Now that I've started the other color.
Mm-hmm.
So so last time I said it was kind of boring to work on, but when you only have 2 projects that you're working on, it's not as boring. I think when my mind's like thinking about all my other projects, and I only like work on one project for a short amount of time, and then I hop onto another and another, maybe that's why I was thinking it was boring. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It looks really good. On the
camera looks great.
Yeah.
I think this appeals to me because it's got like the geometric pattern. I wouldn't have picked these colors, but
no. But the yarn is Miss Babs, and it's a 6-color.
It's not really a gradient.
Well, yeah, it was in their gradient packs, like with the gradient packs, and then navy blue Foleskin. So that's what. So this pattern was actually written specifically for Miss Babs. Yeah. Okay, so that's that, and I started a new sock. I don't have a purse sock right now because I decided instead of doing purse socks, I would do a not purse sock, just color work sock. So here's the first one. And I have started this one before, and I ripped it out because I didn't like my color choices. And this is Twylla by Rachel Coopey. Twylla.
Oh, the Coop Knits, like?
Yeah, Coop Knits. TW.
Is it from your book?
YLLA. It's from my book.
Socks, yeah? That was cool.
Yeah, socks, yeah. And nice. I remember it. So it looks. I feel like it looks like watercolor. Like Monet's garden or something.
I think part of it is this tealy color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's also got the light blue and the purple. So the purple is solid, but the light blue and the teal are a little
hand
bit
dyed or
okay.
Kel dyed, whatever you want to call it.
I said that the colors remind me of like mermaid because of like purple, seashell bra and the teal.
So I was at the doctor's office when I started the second sock, and I realized after I got home that I did this little stripe in the wrong color.
Oops.
So this one, the one you finished was on teal, and
had
the one
a teal stripe in the ribbing, and then the one I did has the purple stripe in the ribbing. So I decided, well, instead of ripping it out, I'm just going to carry on and just do different colors for each of the color work bands, because it's got stripes of color work.
Mm-hmm. So the one that you finished, I would say, is more teal. So will this one look more purple?
Yes, this one will have more purple.
But then I was saying you should make a third sock. I guess that's mostly the blue. Like the light blue.
Yeah.
So then you can have,
the little mismatched socks. It's a brand, and it would come with 3 single socks that were all color coordinated, and they had the same colors, but not the same pattern for each sock. Right? That's how you
Right,
describe
something
it.
Yeah.
Or
different.
yeah, they were like thematically the same. So like I'm sure like there was one that was like breakfast socks, and like one of them had eggs on it, and the other one had bacon on it, and the other one had sausage on it.
Oh.
So they have stuff like that, but as well
as well
stuff
as
like
colors,
this where it's like maybe the same pattern but different
colors.
Yeah, different
color combinations.
Different color order. But yeah, no, it's nice.
I think I'll have enough for another sock.
Yeah, because you've got I like the texture on the top of the foot as well.
Yeah, that's it's just knit and pearls.
Does that contribute to the watercolor Monet feeling because it's like kind of like wavy?
Yeah, I think so.
A bit of texture. Well, I think it's a happy mistake, a mismatch.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, so that's that, and those are my only 2 whips I have here with me.
Cool.
Because I've already forgotten what I have at home.
You have your blanket. I remember that.
Oh yeah, I have a blanket.
And your mittens.
Oh yeah, the garland. It's
Yeah.
the mitten garland. Yeah.
Right. Will we do our Buzzfeed quiz?
Okay.
I
Buzzfeed.
like how I say our Buzzfeed quiz, as if
We made them.
or that we own Buzzfeed.
Even better.
Yeah.
So this one is, trust me here, I know which autumn haircut is perfect for you. Which, my first question was, what is an autumn haircut?
It's a very good question. I mean, maybe like an autumn hair color. Which, if you were a person who dyed their hair often, but haircut? I don't know.
Okay. What haircut did you get?
I got Rachel Green's iconic haircut from Friends, which is like a long bob, right? Like
A lob.
tousled
A
bob.
lob, yeah. Oh, you also got
I
that?
also got Rachel Green.
Do you want to read it?
Oh yeah, it says, you're stylish and trendy. Rachel's haircut from Friends will keep you looking chic and fashion forward throughout the autumn season. I mean, I don't really agree. I don't like the haircut.
But what about the description?
I don't think I'm very fashion forward.
I'm definitely not fashion forward.
Or
I'm more
chic.
fashion forward.
I think you're stylish,
fashion
though.
Backwards.
I have a style. Like, I don't know. But trendy?
Okay. Well, I got Mia Farrow's Pixie Cut. You're adventurous and open to change. Mia Farrow's Pixie Cut is the perfect low maintenance yet stylish option for your autumn look.
That's funny because that's what I got the first time. And I only changed one thing.
Okay, well, so let's see. Which color palette do you prefer for your autumn wardrobe? I won't read them all out because it's quite a lot, but I'm going to guess. My mom said, oh no, there's no like teals.
I know.
Vibrant and bold?
I picked pastel.
I was going to guess
pastel.
pastel.
I almost did.
But the first one I picked was earthy tones like browns and greens, only because there's greens in there.
That's what we picked.
Yes, of course. I mean, to be fair, that's my wardrobe year round.
Yeah.
I almost picked classic neutrals like black and white because I do wear a lot of black and white as well.
Yeah. It was also warm hues like reds and oranges. And I definitely wear a lot of oranges like I'm wearing today, but not reds.
I like the picture for I love metallics and shimmer, but I don't love metallics. I just like the color of the picture.
Okay. Which word best?
This
describes your personality best. I've just peeked, and we've all picked the same.
Which
we all
is
picked
playful. I think this was hard because I just felt like none of them fit, at least for me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just don't know what my own personality is.
I mean, is metal a personality? Because apparently, according to the quiz, it is.
Well, it's weird that there's rebellious and metal because I feel like you could just lump them into the same. Maybe.
Okay. What about your favorite fall beverage?
Clearly, hot apple cider.
Yeah. Nope. I picked a pint of Guinness.
Oh.
Except...
I thought you didn't like Guinness.
No, I like Guinness fine, but in reality, I would pick a different porter or stout because I think Guinness tastes slightly metallic. Like too irony.
Okay. Somebody let their blood in
No,
there.
it's been a while since I've had a beer.
Perfect autumn scent.
I had a hard time with this one.
Okay, well, I picked the freshly fallen leaves, but like if it were a candle, I would have picked cinnamon because, you know, I mean, there are candles like freshly fallen leaves, but they don't really smell like actual freshly fallen leaves.
We both pick cinnamon.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of vacillated between the cinnamon, vanilla, and lavender. But I kind of associate lavender more with summer than fall, so I didn't pick lavender.
Yeah. I think freshly fallen leaves might be my second as well.
Mm.
I like the sound and
the crunch.
The crunch, but not
the
necessarily.
crunch is the sound. Oh, the crunch. No, I guess you can feel
like
the crunch.
like how, you know, like the
yeah.
The sensation of stepping into it, but I don't know about the smell because I don't really feel like it has that strong of a smell.
When they're wet,
maybe. Yeah, the damp leaf smell.
But you haven't really done that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I missed that. We don't get that here, so
yeah. Okay, what about your fall vacation destination?
I picked Milan, Italy.
Yeah.
I've never been to Italy or a lot of the places on here.
You've been to Paris.
Yes, I've been to Paris
and
I've been to New York. And that's it. Yeah.
LA, you've been to LA?
Okay, as an adult.
Yeah, well.
Or a teenager and above.
Yeah. What'd you pick?
I picked Kyoto.
We all picked something different. I picked Dublin. Because that looks very, I don't know, appealing to me. The picture. I based it on the picture.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah. I take this very seriously.
Favorite fall dessert?
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I knew you guys would. I picked apple pie.
I mean, all the desserts sound good, but, you know, for fall, you gotta have pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
And we absolutely had to have all picked, how do you like to stay warm in autumn?
I mean,
cozy knit sweaters.
Cozy knit sweaters.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And then the last one was choose your dream fall date night activity.
I think you and I picked the same thing.
Stargazing and a bonfire.
Mm-hmm. I picked apple picking.
Mm. Yeah. Cool.
Okay. That was our BuzzFeed.
Mm-hmm. We do
FOs. Well, here's an FO.
The little one. So I have this, I think it's a little Tearoom bear. They come in different sizes, or she has different sizes for this pattern. It's this, I think the smaller one's only 8 inches tall. It's, who is it? I'll look at my Ravelry. It's by Susan Hickson. And it's really cute. I feel like the construction is really nice. Like the shape of the face and the ears has come out really nicely. And then he's got a pair of dungarees. Mm-hmm. And chose a light blue.
Does he have a tail? No tail.
He doesn't. No. I didn't even think about that. It doesn't have a tail. It would have been nice to see a little tail poking through those dungarees, but it's still really cute, I think.
I like the big feet.
Yeah, it's kind of these big, very round feet at the end.
Yeah. It was done in pieces?
Yes. Some.
The
arms and I think the body was done in one, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
With the legs.
With the legs,
yeah,
and then the arms and the arms and head. I can't remember the arms and head. I did it while I was pregnant. I don't know.
And the ears.
And the ears, yeah, were pieced on.
But this is a gift, yeah.
Yeah, it's a gift for a different baby. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the pattern was really nice, but very, very well explained. So if it was a beginner doing it, it would be quite easy to follow. But for me, it was a little bit like, okay, like let's get to the point. but yeah,
was there a lot of pictures like?
Yeah, a lot of pictures. Yeah, but it was a really nice pattern though.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I definitely recommend it.
Would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then I also have the bunny hat with chin ties for my baby.
It's too big right now though.
The pattern by Grumperina. And the original pattern, she has the ears just tied with ribbon, but I just...
together?
No, like around each ear, so that... Because the ear is just shaped flat, and then the ribbon would tie around it to give it that shape of a bunny ear.
Uh-huh.
You can still just... instead of doing a ribbon, use the yarn to wrap around if you want it.
Yeah, you could just tie it with anything, but I decided just to kind of sew it together so that it gave it that shape permanently. But definitely too big for the baby now, but in the future. It's like I think the the color. Oh no, I was gonna say it was called Bunny, but that was your project that you did. That was a bunny, but it is a similar color. Where it's like a gray brown color.
Yeah, a brownish gray.
Yeah, I think yours is browner. It'll be good for when you go to Boston.
Is it cotton?
It's cotton though.
Oh well, inside.
Well, you can wear it here inside in the AC. It's pretty. I don't know what the size was supposed to be, but I don't know if his head will fit it by Christmas.
I was gonna say yeah. It still seems pretty big.
Might be more of a toddler hat.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are my FOs.
Very good.
Do you have any FOs?
Yes. I do. Remember this guy?
Sorry.
So I'd finished the Bonny Puffin for Quintin, and I finally did the hat, and I kept saying to you that
you were finished.
That I was finished, and you were like,
announced it as an FO.
and you were like, no, you're not. What the hat? I was like, oh no, maybe I won't do the hat. But yeah,
There's the hat.
The hat is so cute.
I did the hat in the Caithness yarns.
Ah, okay.
Just so everything else is cotton, and that's wool.
Are you gonna sew it on, or are you gonna leave it like that?
I thought I would leave it because I figured that if the baby was with it, you probably wouldn't want the hat to begin with, because just in case the pom pom like
As a younger baby.
yeah, as a younger, you don't want him chewing on the pom pom.
Well, then you have the option. You can dress the puppet.
Yeah, and I think I made a very nice pom pom. I used my loom tool.
Nice. To make that
But
really dense.
it started out like that big, and then it really
It's so round.
yeah, it's very dense and round, and I mean I think you would be hard pressed to get stuff out of it because it's so dense now. But
Nice.
yep, so that's my FO.
So I have a couple of FOs. So I'm going to count this as one FO. So I made 2 baby hats while I was here.
Because
and obviously that doesn't fit. Well, when he first came out, none of the hats fit him.
even though they were newborn sized.
Yeah. So, and that hat fit him for about 2 days.
It was a little snug. So then you immediately started making a bigger hat.
Yeah.
Which is a little too big. But it worked.
Yeah, so this is just basic hat in around.
Is this the same yarn as your socks?
Yes, it is. So I actually started knitting. Yeah, I actually started knitting the first sock, and then when we realized that Quintin didn't have any hats that fit him right, I pulled it out and I just knit this hat, and so I've knit this first sock since I finished that hat, and then I finished this bigger one, and that one is a little bit too big on him.
Mm-hmm.
But there's plenty of room, and we can fold the brim, and if it's okay. Yeah, he's growing like a weed, so yeah. Sock yarn. That was purse sock number 12, because I finished that here.
Oh, I see.
And so I had that yarn with me, and then my second FO is the Sydänmaa. I don't know how to pronounce it. The what did you say, that it was Danish or Norwegian or something?
I don't Finnish maybe.
Finnish.
Dunno.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the, on the screen.
In the show notes, etc.
And this was made with my Icelandic yarn.
Very pretty.
So mittens,
Cabled. And then it has I think it's unusual. This unusual thumb gusset that starts in the middle of the inside of your wrist, and and it's like
it's almost like it's like follows your more natural sort of like thumb
actual
curve.
anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of on the edge. So all the ones I've done are either like folded like this or starts at the edge. And here's the cables. It's got some cute cables, but it looks really stupid right now because I haven't blocked them yet. And
They look very skinny.
It looks odd.
It looks like a cactus when you hold it up.
Especially when it's like this.
When they're together, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think these will be nice and warm. And I only used one skein, so I didn't even use the second skein. So maybe I'll knit a pair of mittens for Madeline.
Is it just wool?
Yeah, just Icelandic wool.
Oh, so it's got like such a halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I can see it.
I think that's just a character
Yeah.
The Icelandic wool.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Nice.
pretty.
Thanks.
Very neutral for mommy.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
I wondered. It's
Her Taylor Swift cardigan was gray, light gray.
just yeah, it was a little bit grayer than this maybe. I can't wait to start wearing it.
Your cardigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all done now.
Mm.
Definitely can't wear it here.
Oh, I think I would have a heat stroke if I wore it, even inside. Okay.
So we want to remind everybody about a thing that's coming up.
Yeah, it's just in a few days, or maybe it's already happened.
Yeah, well, don't know. Depends on this episode goes out. But this is a reminder to have a look at patterns to join the Moorit CAL. So we're gonna start it officially when the issue 5 comes out, which is the 26th of September, which is Tuesday randomly. Because I don't know if anybody's noticed, the magazines always come out on a Tuesday. Don't know why I picked a Tuesday. Actually, I do know why I picked a Tuesday, but I should. I regret it now.
You can always change it. You
Yes.
are the publisher.
Yeah,
and
So pick your favorite Moorit pattern or one that you've been wanting to work on. It doesn't have to be from issue 5. I'm going to be working on an issue 1 design. I've brought the yarn, so I'm going to start swatching actually.
I started swatching for Zani from issue 4, and the swatch is somewhere around here, isn't it? Oh, it's over there. Never mind. Well,
But yeah, so join us on the 26th of September, and that will run for.
you said December 31st.
Oh, end of the year, sure. Very organized.
Okay, and you have Yarny Bits and Bobs.
Yarny bits and bobs. So yeah, so I was vending last weekend?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was last weekend.
I mean, it won't have last weekend as of the recording at the Scottish Yarn Festival, which previously known as the Perth Festival of Yarn, with Moorit. That was nice. Got to have lots of nice conversations, and I was this close to making it without buying anything. And then in the last half hour, 15 minutes, I bought some yarn. So
it looks like the same colors and the shirt.
It's almost exactly
Yeah.
the same.
So I actually bought 3 skeins, but I just brought 2 here because I'm not planning on using it. I literally just brought it for this podcast.
You're such a good podcaster.
So it's from
The Wool Library. So I first heard about them when they were doing their
crowdfunding campaign. So it's Zoe and Maria, and Zoe she owns the Woolist, which people might have heard of, but basically she had done her PhD investigating the different properties and characteristics of British fleeces, like the different breeds of sheep and their fleece. And so she's got like a database that tells you all about the different fleeces. But so she's partnered with Zoe, who has a farm in the Lake District, to sort of champion British wool. And so they've done different types of wool. And when they first did their Kickstarter, they'd done like a 100% cheviot, as well as a like a chainette, I think. Is that right? And so it was different because most of that style of yarn, there's either like cotton in it or a man-made fiber, but they did a 100% cheviot wool wrapped around a 100% fine wool core. So it's like all wool. And I think they said they had to have it spun in Italy because none of the British places would do it. Just because it was so like different. They also did some other different blends. So they did one with 70% cheviot and 30% nettle, as well as 70% cheviot and 30% soy, which is what I got. I got the soy. And Zoe was showing me like the comparison of the 100% cheviot with compared to this one with the soy, compared to the one with the nettle, and just like you can see the differences in color. I think the soy was maybe the darkest in color, so this is the undyed, but it's like it's a very
has, like,
warm,
an orangey hue.
Yeah, like a warm beigey sort of orangey color. And then she showed me it dyed up in this sort of rust color. Each of the 3 bases again in the same dye bath, and obviously you can't see in the screen, but the soy was sort of the middle and then the wool took the dye the most. It was like really much darker rust, and then the nettle was the lightest. So it obviously, I think, the nettle has almost a sort of silkier texture. I think. So yeah, I thought that was interesting, and I got 2 of the sort of rust. It's not really a rust, is it?
It's like a rusty light terracotta kind of
Yeah,
color.
sort of a terracotta color. Got 2 of them, and then one of the undyed. And I don't know. She was like, Zoe's like, it'd be really interesting to see.
Sport weight or is it fingering?
I think it's like a fingering. But Zoe was saying, it'd be really interesting to see like what it works up as crochet, like, because obviously they've got like some knitted samples. But part of me was like, I was thinking about, because at this point, now that I've opened this new can of worms of knitting, like I want to try knitting everything. So I was like, okay, I'll try crochet something with it.
You are the crocheter.
Yeah. So yeah, and the show was good. Got to see lots of familiar faces as usual. The festival circuit.
Making new friends. Bumping into old friends.
Yeah. It's always nice. And people were like, "Where's your mom?"
That's funny.
Because you were at the last 2 shows at Perth.
I was, yeah. So they probably thought it's going to be a thing now.
Yeah.
The second time was accidental, though.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It was a coincidence.
Or you just forgot that you had to be there.
It was still a coincidence. Cool. Do you have any other...
No, I don't.
You can't have any other Yarny bits and bobs. You haven't been doing anything except for stare at the baby and take care of the baby and change the baby's diaper.
Yeah, that's all I've been. It's like the 24/7 Quintin show here.
Yep.
And all we do is stare at him, and play with him.
A little bit of knitting.
A little bit. Yeah, I mean, I have. I'm holding him and knitting at the same time.
I've done that too
a few times, and cooking dinner. But today we're doing takeout, so I don't have to cook today.
More knitting time.
Yeah, exactly. But when I was having babies, I wasn't knitting, so I never.
Well, I found that it's a really good activity for between when baby needs things and baby's napping, because unlike because I also sew, and it's usually I do more sewing than knitting, but sewing is just way too involved with the baby.
It's
so
too noisy.
Yeah, that too. So knitting, I've actually gotten a lot more knitting done than I thought I would, because like the tuck-in blouse, that was all done after baby came, and it's already like almost a quarter done.
Yeah. But when you said you weren't doing knitting when you had babies, it was because you hadn't gotten into your knitting phase yet. That's what you mean.
Correct. I mean, I knew how.
Right.
I just didn't. I wasn't knitting.
Because you've had... Just thinking about... Well, I'm sure we've talked about like when you first started knitting, the fun fur scarves and stuff. But before that,
the fun fur scarves, I did all that in crochet.
Oh, really?
Because I used to be a stronger crocheter than a knitter. Afghans and
ponchos
and whatever, and baby clothes, and then when I got tired of the fun fur scarves, I was like, maybe I'll pick up knitting again. And at that point, I mean, I was pretty much a novice. I just knew how to do it. I wasn't like, I never really learned how to read a pattern. Because I made a lot of garter stitch stuff when I was, not a lot, I made a few garter stitch stuff when I was little. And then as you guys were, in your toddler, whenever I visited my parents, I would get bored and I would dig through my mom's knitting stuff, and she had all these books, so I would like teach myself how to do a cable and do a swatch, teach myself how to do an entrelac and do a swatch. So that was like all the knitting I did when you guys were growing up, until after Madeline was in kindergarten was when I started knitting.
And before that, you were more of a you did a lot of quilting.
Yeah, quilting, sewing, and then before that was cross stitch. I did lots of
cross stitch.
Yeah, lots of, some pretty intricate cross stitches.
Ooh, that reminds me. Yeah, I the Christmas cross stitch that you made everybody.
Oh my god.
But I wanted her to send me, if she can find either the pattern or just a picture of one of them close up, to like recreate it, basically.
Recreate it in cross stitch or in something else?
Well, you can recreate it in C2C.
Oh God, no seed to see. I'm gonna finish this Christmas seed to see blanket and then never do it again.
Yeah, I couldn't find. I think because the pattern for that Christmas cross stitch was in a magazine, and I think I donated all of those magazines.
Okay, I just need a close-up picture then of the.
Yeah, I already sent it to you.
Yeah. No, you don't. Okay, right. I think that's us.
Yep, that is it.
Okay.
Spiel.
Yep. You can find the show notes for this episode and every episode on our website, which is kcacypodcast.wordpress.com. You can follow us on Instagram, also at kcacypodcast. You can also follow my personal Instagram, Alyson here, and my mom's at upstate_viv. Like, follow, rate, comment, review, subscribe, all the things on YouTube or wherever else you listen to podcasts. You can also join our Ravelry group. Just search for Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast in the groups tab. So, thank you for joining us.
3 of us.
And remember to keep calm and carry yarn.
Bye.
Bye.